Okay, are we all settled back here? Maybe I can do a little squat here. There I am. I'm in. Hi, everyone online. No, please stay. I'd like to introduce this morning, for the few of you who may not know, this is Patrick O'Shea, also Ungo, newly ordained priest. Oh, look at that. A very active member of our community. You can see him regularly sitting, timekeeping in the morning, holding space for all of us to practice. So wonderful the way you show up for us. Thank you. Has been a long-standing member, and so excited to have you share with us this morning. Your title is The 8 Worldly Concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, unlike the upcoming movie, there's not going to be subtitles, and they're probably needed. I was told after my last talk, my talk was great, but subtitles would have helped a lot. So if you have a hard time understanding me, just ask the person beside you. Some people will probably understand. It really is a privilege and an honor to talk here. This is my home. This is where I have my community, and this is where I feel safe. So there's some trepidation about this talk, but I feel safe, you know. And I'm talking about the Dharma, so, you know, how can I go wrong? As long as I don't start telling lies. So the talk is called The 8 Worldly Concerns. They're not at all abstract. They're a large part of our life, a large part of our anxiety. They are our immediate reaction to the comparisons that we make to the impulses that come into our brain. And the Buddha said, he gave many teaching this, he said, all beings move through life, chasing and avoiding these 8 winds. There's nothing special about them. They're quite normal. And because we see them as normal, that's why we suffer. They're in 4 pairs of 2. There's gain and loss, pleasure and pain, praise and blame, and fame and disrepute. So we deal with these winds every day. They're always going to rise up, all of the time. And the question is, are we going to let them blow us around? How are we going to react? Are we going to react? Or do we learn not to react? And learn to stand or sit, be strong. So I'm going to look at each pair and try and connect them to the path to freedom, the 4 Noble Truths. When gain arises, we grasp, I just grasp. I can't speak for everybody else, but the Buddha would. He would say, we grasp. I grasp. When I get something, I want more. And when praise comes, my reaction is I expand. I bask, and this is unconscious, and it's in the body, you can see it. Genshin would sometimes point out to me, when I'm uncomfortable, I'm like this, And this is why we're suffering. Not whatever's causing the discomfort, it's the reaction to it. So it's the grasping, the resisting, not what's actually happening, it's my physical and mental reactions to it. And this is for the noble, bless you,
Thank
the
you.
noble truths tonight. There is suffering. And that suffering is caused by our craving or aversion. And we can be free of this. And we're given a path to that freedom. The 8 worldly concerns show us exactly where the craving is. It's not the gaining or receiving that disturbs us. It's the attachment to it. It's what it does for us, or what we think it does for us. It's wanting more. And when we lose something, when there's loss, we can't accept it. You know, life is constantly changing, every second, and we resist it. You know, we resist change. We don't want to suffer. We wonder why we're suffering. It's the thinking about this that is the real problem. You know, we all have gains and losses. I have a 27-year-old son. He doesn't talk to me, and he hasn't spoken to me in many years. I struggle with that. But I don't struggle with it like I used to. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. So I've learned a lot in this saga, and that's a gift. And I don't think I sound like I'm being heartless or, you know, I should be doing something about it. I've done everything I can, and that's it. And maybe someday he'll get back to talking to me. Maybe he'll grow out of whatever he's going on. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry about that. So I'm going to talk about gain and loss. I'm going to talk about all 4 pairs. Gain can be anything: money, success, opportunity, relationship, health, recognition. All these things. Loss is the opposite to all of those. So what happens when we gain something? There's this instant feeling of gratification. Now, in my body, when I gain something, my body reaction is one of closing up. It's like this: yes, yes, and it's closing up. It's the opposite. I wouldn't say should, but it's the opposite to gaining. You know, gaining should be like this, but gaining is like this. And anyway, that's the suffering, because yes, I got it. Now what am I going to do with it? Am I going to lose it? Can I get more? Who's going to want some of it? All these things, instead of just being, nice, this is cool, I like it. Yeah, great. But I struggle, like everybody does. Gain contains anxiety. You know, Jim Carrey, I came across a great quote by Jim Carrey. He's a friend of, I don't know, some philosopher. It slips my mind right now. But he said that he wishes everybody could have everything they ever wanted. And then they would see it's not the answer. And that's the truth. I have no doubt in my mind. Like for me, I'm not much into monetary things anymore, but if I won the lotto, my first thought would be, who am I going to be hearing from? It's not going to be, well, my first thought might be, wow, I got it. Then it's going to be, I'm going to be bombarded with these people that never really like me, and I'm down that road. Okay, so here we go. The Buddha constantly pointed out to impermanence. Everything gained, we're going to lose. We might lose it when we die, but we're going to lose it. And everything that we build up will change. Relationships, friendships, everything. And the problem isn't that things change. The problem is that we've built ourselves, this self that we build it's not built on solid foundation. It's something we've been, and the forces around us have built to make this person here, this ego that walks and talks and wants everything. And it's not solid. I'm successful. I am respected. I am secure. And then something happens. And I am no longer successful. I'm devastated. But if I say I'm successful and that's it, and realize that it's going to end, and it is going to end, when I lose it, what do I lose? I lose nothing. None of that matters. Excuse me. Try that. So, if we don't cling to gain, we can enjoy it. We can appreciate it for what it is, not worry about it and enjoy it. And if we don't fight our losses, we can just accept them. Zen teaches a lot. There's nothing to gain. And this does not mean we walk around with apathy. It means we don't go out. We don't go out of our way to get stuff. It's not about getting stuff. We don't practice to gain, to become enlightened. We do, but we really don't. I don't expect I'm going to. Let me put it like that. But I'm going to continue practicing. And even spiritual gain, as Shogya Trungpa said, is a worldly concern. I'm a good meditator. I've been meditating a long time, many hours a day. I'm grateful I can meditate, but it's nothing to be respected or secure about. I've been through phases where I can't meditate, months on end, where I have a hard time sitting still for 20 minutes. And I struggled, I talked to people about it. I remember teaching to some of the teachers and saying, I just can't sit. And I knew exactly what they were going to say. They were going to say, it's going to change, don't worry about it. But I still struggled. So knowing all this stuff is one thing, but putting any of this into practice it's definitely a lifetime of work, and it's never going to be all the time. Just not. I remember saying on a Tuesday here, Tuesday evenings were really quiet sitting here. There's like 4 or 5 people. And after the sit, I'm like, wow, man, that was so meditation. So, and I remember maybe 3 years ago, I had this amazing meditation. These are all the concerns, okay? This is what's going on here. I'm making myself nuts. I'm making myself nuts saying 3 years ago, listen to this insanity. 3 years ago, I had a meditation that I was so deep and so at peace. And of course, I'm never going to get it again because I want to. That's the paradox of that. Pleasure and pain. Pleasure is mostly the biological one for me. Pleasure I move towards. Pain I struggle with. I move away from it. I avoid it. And there's nothing wrong with pleasure and pain. They're fight and flight. They go way. They're just completely natural to us. It's completely natural to want pleasure. It's completely natural to not want pain. But it's the amount of thought we put into looking for pleasure and avoiding pain. And, more of my craziness. There's so much craziness about myself I need to get out. I remember I bought this car. I bought a new car a few years ago. And I thought, this is just great. And then a bird poops on it and it's like... I brought it in a couple of weeks ago and they told me I needed a new battery. I said, how much is that? $600. I said, you've got to be kidding me. Now, I had nothing to base this on. I had no idea how much a new battery was or should cost. But my reaction was, it's wrong and I want something else. I want it cheaper. So, again, I'm off track. But when we insist on pleasure and refuse pain, we say, I hope this never ends, and this has got to stop. But both of these are temporary, you know. Like my new car, I loved it for a year. I still like it, you know. Now it's got poop all over it, and it's getting old like me. So it's better today than it was when it was new. Because when I come out and I see bird poop on it, there's bird poop on it. When I come out and see there's a scratch in it, I remember losing my mind when there was a scratch in it one time. I blamed everybody but me. So yeah, these are the attachments. You know, I was with Genshin, my wife, and the car was scratched, and she said, "What happened to the car?" And my mind said, she did it. And the car scratch, looking back, it's not a big deal. It's still on there. It's still on there. The car is no different, you know. I struggled with my wife for maybe a week, you know. And I'm sure she was convinced I did it. You know, neither one of us knew for sure. But, you know, as soon as I think I know something, I'm in trouble. I'm no longer open to, I wasn't open to her saying, maybe it was you who put the scratch. No. Anyway, again, I'm off track. I remember seeing a dishwasher commercial. It said, we waste 150 hours a year doing dishes. And in this practice, doing dishes is a gift. You know, it's time to meditate. But to think the marketing, you know, we waste 150 hours doing stuff that needs to be done, that we do for our health and for our comfort. But we're told, and we start to believe, you know, we don't need to do this. There's an easier way. There's a better way. The Buddha did not teach to avoid pleasure. He taught, do not be attached to it. Can we have pleasure without grasping? We can, you know? Well, I can. And I'm no Zen master, you know. But I can have pleasure now without feeling a need for it to continue. I can appreciate it for what it is, when it is, know it's going to end, and when it does. That's it, you know. And that's a gift. You know, it took me, I'm 62 now, it took me probably 50 years to realize that. You know, and maybe 7 or 8 years here meditating, you know. Can pain come out without resentment? Yeah, for sure. I don't resent my son. I love him, you know. I don't resent the fact that I've got a lot of titanium. You know, titanium here, titanium here. Went through tremendous pain. I don't hang on to it anymore. I'll talk about it too much, looking for sympathy. When we sit to meditate, it's not comfortable. Another paradox. It is and it isn't. It's really hard to. I used to love to sit lotus, and I can't anymore. more hanging on to. See, these are the 8 worldly concerns. You know, I want. And it's that struggle that saddens me. You know, it makes me feel like I'm getting old. You know, it makes me feel like my knee, I should have looked after myself better. All these shoulds that come along with it. So when we sit, we're uncomfortable. And when we practice sitting for a while, we get used to the discomfort. And we stop shifting. You know, we stop. Except when it's sesshin. At the end of sesshin, we sit and we accept that it's painful. And it's okay. Because it's going to change. It's going to be gone. You know, sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but it's going to be walking meditation shortly. And usually, once I stop thinking about that pain, get back to my breath or whatever craziness is going on about my car, it passes. Because it's just, nothing is an issue. It's how we think about it that becomes an issue. So when we experience directly the impermanence of sensation, the compulsion changes. So it's all about acceptance. And it's going to change. You know, I'm not going to have to sit in lotus for the next 10 days. I'm going to get up and walk. Praise and blame. This is probably my favorite. This is a good one for me. Praise feels nourishing. Blame feels threatening. You know. Somebody says something nice to me, just a kind word. Somebody says something nice about my dog. I feel good. You know, all small stuff. A criticism can have me closed off to the world for an extended period of time. It's my reaction. It's like, why did they say that? Does everybody think that? Am I really like that? Now, this me that doesn't exist, and I want to protect it. You know, I want to fight for it. It's, you know, it's so simple. But there's no. I was saying to him, it's simple, but there's nothing easy about it. You know, life is a breeze, but we just complicate it. We make it hard for ourselves. We figure out the easier way, the better way. My next vacation, whatever it can be. My ego thrives on confirmation. I want to be liked, respected, cared for. I do not want to be criticized. I do not want to be wrong. I don't want to make mistakes. The praise makes me feel important, needed almost. The blame makes me feel unnecessary, hostile, aggressive, unkind. But they both make me feel and think about me. Me. So when I'm not thinking about me, life is good. When I'm not, I'm here and I'm talking. You know, I'm an introvert. This is the most comfortable situation in the world for me. But I love the Dharma. You know, I just, the simple things in life, you know. Anyway, there I go, talking about myself again. I'm sure everybody here knows the Dharma, that's why you're here, you know. When someone tells me, you're so wise, or your practice is so good, I feel so I feel so special. And I remember being here one morning with Roshi and Gareth. And Roshi said to Gareth, Gareth, you sit so well. And I was like, I used to sit like that. Actually, I used to sit better than that. Because I was doing a full lotus and he's not. So.
You can stop right there.
So can I accept praise without craving and without, with gratitude, appreciate it, but not just accept it. But it's hard. It's like, they're right. I'm pretty good. You know. And can I accept blame without getting defensive? That's a lot harder for me. Yeah, it's hard for me to take that. And I feel like slapping myself, seriously, grow up. It's a scratch in the car. Now that's a big one. I looked at my car key recently, and it's probably going to cost, if I lose it, I've got 2 of them. And I'm telling myself, if I lose this car key, it's going to cost me $300 for a new one. That's crazy. Now what's crazy is that I'm thinking about this. Fame and disrepute. Being known, admired, and visible. Being ignored, dismissed, or judged negatively. And in this day and age, with technology, being visible, admired, and known, it seems really important. Not so much to me, but I would guess for a lot of people it is. I don't do social media or any of that, but how many likes do you have? Did you see? All the stuff that, I know, it's just there to occupy our mind and take us away from what's important. What's going on in the country is, it's heartbreaking. But I got some friends who, their lives have changed because of it. And it's easy to say, well, that's Trump. But it's because they watch the news and want it to be different. I'm sure we're all like that on some level, But this wanting is what, it's exhausting, I don't know, people just talk about politics all of the time. And every time we do, it's like another toothpick. Every time we watch the news, I know that if I watch the news, I'm going to be upset. I know undoubtedly something is going to be said that's going to get to me. Now, I was in a really dark place a few months ago because of some stuff that was going on. Really dark. Well, it's life. It's the Dharma. Wanting it to be different. I wish people weren't dying. I wish there was peace. It's just this craziness. Even here in the Sangha, it's nice to be recognized, but there's a level of ego that can come into it. I was talking to Kelly this morning. I'm going to be the Tenzo for that one-day retreat. Not a big deal, but I wanted recognition for it. Julie's been doing this for the last 10, 15 years, 3 times a day, for a week. I'm doing it for 1 day, and I want some recognition. So, yeah, I gotta laugh at myself. And the 4th Noble Truth, the Eightfold Path. That's the answer. Right view. Right view is understanding impermanence. Understanding impermanence. It's easy to say I understand impermanence because I do. it's everything depends on impermanence. But I don't act like I do, and I forget that I do. I want things to be different. I want things to stay the way they are. I just want to be happy. I spent my whole life wanting to be happy, looking for happiness. And happiness is a byproduct of living a virtuous life. If you live a life, you're nice, you do the right thing, you're going to be happy. Right view, impermanence, right intention. Right intention is not grasping. Don't sweat the small stuff. Let it go. Right speech, action, livelihood. These are our behaviors on a daily basis. This is our ethical grounding. This keeps us sticking with these, and we'll be grounded, solid, not blown around, comfortable in our own skin, not obsessing about things. And then there's right effort, mindfulness, concentration. And that's what helps us do everything. I'm so grateful for meditation. I'm so grateful for this practice. Learning to meditate, learning to sit, and whatever comes up, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. I'm grateful for that. So when we are less driven by the 8 worldly concerns, there is a simplicity to our life. We do what's in front of us. We do what's right. Don't expect gratitude. Don't expect praise. It should be like breathing. It should be that simple. It never is. Not yet. I'm working on it. I still experience gain and loss. Still feel pleasure, still feel pain. I get praised, sometimes blamed. But I can let these things go. I can accept it and be grateful and not wonder why somebody else wasn't more grateful. Am I right? When we sit, our compassion deepens because we see that everybody suffers from the same dis-ease that we do. Everybody has the exact same problems. Different levels, different amounts, but we all suffer from wanting praise, not wanting to lose, wanting to gain, wanting pleasure, not wanting pain. And there's a quote, I think it was Roshi Ed Barkett said, he said, something is a problem because we call it a problem. And when we have a problem, we're looking for a solution. When we don't call it a problem, it's life. And when it's life, we deal with it. We're not looking for a solution, just deal with it. I love that. I love that. So, from sitting, my compassion deepens. See that everybody's suffering from the same thing. The person who's clinging to fame is afraid, full of fear. The person crushed by blame is hurting. The person looking for pleasure is restless, discontent, wanting. And when we see this in others, our judgment softens. We're not so right. We're just part of it. So the 8 worldly concerns, they're not something we can eliminate. They're always going to be here. They're going to be something we deal with. There's something, instead of eliminating, we should try and understand. And if we can understand them, and understand them to the point of recognizing them as they're coming up, we're no longer ruled by them. They're going to continue. But there's a peace. I keep going back to this, but it's a good example. I'm at peace with the fact that my son doesn't talk to me. You know? And sometimes I say to myself, I shouldn't be, but that's more of it. That's more of grasping, I should. There's no should. I'm at peace. And I'm grateful for that. I'm sad, I'm at peace. That peace is not indifference. It's not that I don't care. But it's freedom. And that's the freedom that the Buddha talked about in the Fourth Noble Truth. The lived path that leads beyond grasping. So, the 8 worldly concerns, gain and loss, mine and mine, my possessions, my loss, pleasure and pain, my comfort. It's not about anybody else. I hope they have a good time at the show I want to go see. It's all about me. Praise and blame, my image. What do people think about me? My reputation. All of it is about me. So that is why we sit and practice insight into non-self. I always thought there was something to get with the non-self, that I just don't quite get it. But there's nothing to get. And people would say that to me all the time, and I didn't realize it until I had said, there's nothing to get. I made everything about me, and I do that less as a result of this practice. Not a lot less, but a little less. So how can we work with the 8 winds or the 8 worldly concerns? We can work with them practically. When a strong feeling arises, we can say, what's causing this? Pain, loss, ego. Naming it is a start. You're separating yourself from it. Praise. Somebody said something. That's it. Leave it at that. Maybe I can do better. Maybe somebody else should be saying it. I don't know. I don't want to hurt anyone. And before any of these concerns or winds, before we have a reaction with our mind, we have a physical reaction. I have a physical reaction, like when I get something and I was saying, that's the reaction. It's going to come, and then I recognize it right away. It's nothing. Just let it go. So the first thing is feel it in the body. Realize that it's going to pass. Whatever it is, it's going to pass, good, bad, or indifferent. Live in impermanence. And I was talking to me get to earlier. This is a quote from the third patriarch. I just love it. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Now, how simple is that? But is it easy? No. So thanks, everybody. If anybody has any question, Neil gets you, or Roshi, we'll gladly answer them for you.
So I guess to help you, we can't say great talk.
Yeah, say it for everybody else.
Those online, feel free to unmute and join the conversation. Here we have Mark.
Oh, that was wonderful, Ungo. But you didn't hear me say that. I want to tell you the Dharma according to Brayton, my then about 6-year-old son. We have these columns in our garage, and Pat was pulling out, and she created a huge dent in the side of the car. She was so upset, and he said, he was in the back seat, and he said, "It's just an accident, Grandma." You know, the Dharma, right there in a 6-year-old. Right?
Good morning. Good morning, Rochis. Good morning, Sangha. Thank you so much, Ungo, for sharing a piece of yourself with us this morning. I'm really grateful that you finally admitted you might have scratched the car. Because that eliminates, like for me, in those 8, some feeling of blamed, some feeling of wanting. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that Ungo is going to be Tenzo. That's my gift. Yeah, you really do offer me an opportunity to practice calm and peace, and just really a joy to listen to you this morning. And thank you so much for the purposefulness and intention in your talk. A lot of love there. Thank you.
Hi, I'm online. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you so much, Ungo. That was, I love you sharing so many personal experiences. It's so nice to know I'm not alone in my craziness. Yeah, just a lot of what you said resonated with me, and I heard both insight and compassion for self and others, and that's what we have to give, I guess. So thank you so much. I really appreciated it.
Hey, okay, humor is helpful in practice, and I believe you've demonstrated that today. That's not meant as praise. It's maybe analysis, I don't know. But, the thoughts about compassion and love and practicing those without attachment, or what does that do to our relationships and how we move beyond fixed opinions, maybe? And it's just, you've brought up a lot of things to think about and sit with. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Juroshi?
Thank you so much, Ungo, for reminding us about these 8 worldly winds. It's always so important because I seem to forget about them myself. And so down to earth and good ways to practice, how meditation really helps with the clarity. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to you being Tenzo, by the way.
Nice talk. So what I enjoyed about your talk was your vulnerability and your honesty and being able to share with us the things about yourself that maybe you're not happy with. And to me, that feels very disarming, because I think by you recognizing that in yourself, you're admitting that you can also recognize it in other people. And you kind of, to me, that I do that a lot in my community, where I am very honest about my insecurities, or like sometimes my envy, or just those nasty emotions that show up for me. And I find that when I share that with other people, it kind of makes things feel comfortable, because it makes others realize that if I could see it in myself, it gives other people permission to also share, or not have to fear for having to be perfect. So I'm a big advocate of kind of just putting all your mess on the table and sharing it with the world, and I find it really empowering. So thank you.
Thank you. You should hear the rest of it.
It was very wonderful. Thank you so much for the talk. Just commenting, few things resonated with me. That naming what's going on, it's been, when first time I did it more on my own spontaneously, and then I felt that sudden relief. It was about fear, about particular event I was gonna participate, and I was just fighting this whole fear. The whole body was shivering and it chills, but I remember the first time still vividly. I completely verbalized it. I'm afraid, scared to death because so and so. I'm afraid of getting embarrassed or something. And then before that I was like, after that I realized I was resisting and pushing back, not acknowledging. And yeah, it's something that resonated with me. And the whole praise blame thing, and just my mind went back to Shantideva's The Way of Bodhisattva. I mean, he's really takes that kind of the worldly type achievement language to Dharma, and in that it reminded me, when somebody praises you, what are you so happy about? It's just just drop it. And he's almost like, you praise the other person instead, because the ability to praise you kind of stuff. So it was just something resonated with me. Thank you so much.
Wonderful talk. Thank you for taking the slot and speaking. I know it's, for introverts, like you said, it's not always the most wonderful thing to do on a Sunday. I love a lot of the things that you spoke to, like others said, a lot to chew on, but I also think you embody that beautiful growth in practice. Just that impermanence applies to, like, all of us come here due to, or many of us, myself included, some time of suffering, or looking towards some answer to suffering, and I feel like it's just a beautiful example of how the practice works us, and there is growth there even in that struggle. So thank you. Anyone else online? We still have a few more minutes, but oh yeah, I knew it. I knew we weren't done just yet. Here,
Thank you, Ungo. I enjoyed the talk, and two things resonated with me, and I thought you did a real good job with it. Was the first one was just pointing out the wisdom of the body, and that motion you made, where when you receive or you win something. I never saw it that way, but it's like you're actually pulling and you're hanging on, you're gripping onto what it is that you're getting, and that was just eye-opening to, you know, it's how the body is physically manifesting that craving of, you know, grasping. So yeah, I thought that was really nice. And you did a great job also of just highlighting our insanity. Yeah. Yeah. We really are insane. And I think this practice helps us see that. So thank you.
Last call. Anyone online? Any last thoughts here? We have some delicious snacks waiting for us in the community room. Okay, I think that's a wrap. Thank you all to our online Sangha for being here and sharing with us this morning. Have a beautiful Sunday. Those of you here in the Buddha Hall, please join us for some delicious
Thanks,
homemade
Ungo.
snacks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Great job. Seriously.